What's up YouTube? So, if you've seen already, I just got the Hyrule Encyclopedia along with the Hyrule Graphics book. I've been really excited about this. I have had a chance to look at it, kind of snuck it to work, pulled it out while no one was looking, or at least they didn't think they were looking. Anyway, I'm just going to go page by page. Now, there's a lot of Japanese content in here, so I just maybe translate the titles as we go through. Maybe skip over a bit because it is very dense in what it has in it. But as I mentioned before, it's a beautiful cover, hardcover. If we take off the dust jacket, embossed front, blue. Again, with symbol of the Triforce, Hyrule in the center, Ganondorf on top. Then we have Zelda on the left, Link on the right. Each with the respective Triforce of power. Anyway, I'm just going to get straight into it. I think, and I haven't actually seen the Hyrule Historia, but I think there's some parts that double up there. So if you have it, you may have seen some of this before. But just straight off the bat, we've got the overall 3 chapters inside. We've got the historical records, chapter 1, the database, chapter 2, the archives, chapter 3. So we have just a list of all the different titles that are included in this book. And as we jump in, we'll go right into this. Bam! Right there we have the history. I haven't had a proper look at the Hyrule Historia once, so I don't know if it's updated at all. But it's just a list here of all the games in the order they come in. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Breath of the Wild included, which is, you know, still a bit of a mystery where that fits in. It just lists, you know, which Link is connected to where, what the order it comes in, what the order the games came out in. Then over here on the other side, we've got a history of Hyrule, listing the first timeline until it splits at the Ocarina of Time, which is, you know, a very important point in the storyline, and then an outline of each thing that happens in each different timeline. Alright, going on next. So this is about the 3 goddesses, the goddess Hylia, about the power of the Triforce, and again it's broken down into the 3 timelines and what happens there, who possesses it, who uses it, which is which. The land of the gods Hyrule and the Hyrule people. We've got a world map here, then we've got the Hyrule Kingdom, and it just has got the history and the details. I haven't really had a huge chance to get into it at all, but just, you know, different games outlining the pictures where, what the pictures are, where they're from, and then you've of course got the bigger ones in the Hyrule Graphics book, so you can cross-reference that and get more of the details as well, so it's really good to have both of them in that point. And then as we keep going on a bit further, so Princess Zelda, I mean, this is one part I really like. So everything is set up with the timeline. So again, you can see it here. We've got the original Skyward Sword, the reborn goddess Hylia, and then that continuation, and then it splits, and it again shows you in each timeline. And especially down here at the bottom, where it's got the history of Zelda, and it's got the original bit graphics. And then from there, it just shows every single one that we've had so far, and it's just really nice to be able to compare the differences, and then just have this. And again, we've got the same thing for Link. Interesting that Zelda first, I mean, obviously her name is on the game, but the main character is Link, and you always realize that. But again, Link, his character, just about his looks, his appearance, the type of person he is, the fact that it's a different person, and it's the same thing, timeline, details, history. Flip it again, this time we have Ganon. Ganondorf, bracket Ganon. And we've got the weapons he's used. Now, he doesn't have a time, although he's got a little mini timeline for him, because obviously he's not in every game. And the different variations. May not have been the hardest fight, but I absolutely love that fight at the end of Wind Waker. It's, you know, it's just the epicness of fighting with swords. Starts thing, just works its way down. That may always be my favorite fight. Spirits. So, light, history, different games, different spirits, fairies, frickin' Navi. The great fairies. Going along, holy lands and sages is that one. The 6 sages bracket 7, and the symbols that represent each of them. A little bit of background of that, and again, which games they're in. And the owls that guide the Sage of Light. Okay, the Temple of Time, very important again. And the platform for the Master Sword is covered here. The map of the temple. And also as it changes through the time and the different versions of the game. Cool. Alternate world and other countries is what this part is, okay? So if we've got bottom here, we've got a little overall map. We've got Hyrule, bracketed out here. We've got the Hyrule Kingdom, the Duress Kingdom, the Rabrenu, I don't know, the Rural Kingdom, different ones over here. Then in the God of Light world, across the ocean, we've got the Hyrule Kingdom, so it gets separated out. Then the Kingdom of Darkness is listed out over here, the history of that, the comparative between them, and the destruction of it. So again, many details. The world of Shadow, sorry. So that's Midna. And then her kingdom, details of the mask, details of the wolves, just the history that happened there, the different people that tried to overthrow the throne. Then Raul Kingdom with Hilda Hime. That would explain why I don't know it. I haven't actually played this game. I just seen somebody play it. Okay, Poradaramu. Rabrenu. So we've got one kingdom after the next, all detailed out. Termina, very iconic, easy to remember. Majora's Mask, great game. Terrified me as a child. Kohiden to. So, was it Awakening? Link to the Past? Awakening? I forget. One with the whale. Great. The Pirates. Then we've got New Hyrule. So that's from Spirit Tracks, the train systems, the towers. Again, kingdom after kingdom. Oh, sorry. No, we've moved on to different races. So we've got the Sheiks first. And again, I actually had a quick look over this before. It's just the details that you don't realize. It talks about the symbolism, how it, it overlaps, how it's reused, changes in the characters, the Gerudo. I also like here they've got the Gerudo alphabet listed down here. Again, surely things people already know, but I didn't really notice at all. Goron, love those guys. And again, different variations from different games. Just everything history regarding the timeline. Zora, there every time. Kokiri, which is the LV thing. I really don't remember how these things are in English, sorry. The Dekunats, the Koroks, the Rito, it's got the bird people. Pikoru, Kaze no Tami, so people of the wind, and again, Fushigi no Boshi, okay, Minish Cap. These people always freak me out, Tenkubito. I don't know what they were smoking when they made those, but I'm sure somebody likes them. Okay, so, call the historical people, and then other. Just got random things in here, that don't really fall into any category. And it talks about the movement of the different people, how they became. So the people of Hyrule, they, they were in relations to the people of the sky and stuff, and then they went to the sky and became the people of the wind. Either some of them went forward, and they went to the forest, they became the Koriki. Then, there was parallel with the Gerudo, and just, different timelines for different races and how they move along. Okay, that's about the land and nature. So we've got forests, mountains, different things in general. What I really like here, though, is it's got, and I had a look at this today, but it's got a map for each game. But it doesn't just talk about the map, it's got it again in the timeline, and it shows how the world originally was, then how it changes. And so you can see that there's generally an overall arching way the map moves, but it does move. Because, thousands of years are changing, and it shows how there's a shift, specifically with Wind Waker, and it breaks up with the flooding. So like 2 games, and then they overlap them, and they show like this was here, this was there, and it shows where it's moved on the map ever so slightly with the changing of times. Bigger movements here with the submersion of the entire kingdom in Wind Waker. Over here, 2 games overlap. You see the differences. This one's really cool because in the original Legend of Zelda, it's not exactly centered on the Kingdom of Hyrule and more above it. So it shows this little corner in the bottom left map, zooms that in, and then shows you where that happens in the later games in the Triforce. And you see that these 2 maps connect like this, and so this is a kingdom in the upper eastern side, which I think is really cool. Animals. Freaking cuckoos. Don't attack the cuckoos. It's different birds, different wildlife, fish, plants, bugs, everything you can think of. Culture and living. So again, just talking about the type of culture that happened in each of the timelines. Then we've got Hyrule Castle. And again, we've got the height, 42 meters. Shorter than I thought. still really good. And again, different games, got it through. The town around it. Oh, translating it on the fly is hard. Farming, food, food culture, eggs. We have a section of eggs and milk. Excellent. Oh, cool. Again, letters. One thing I thought was really cool, and again, people will probably already know this, it takes like 2 seconds for real dedicated fans to figure it out, but I thought it was cool that in different games we have the I'm saying Australian, I was born in Australia, but we have the English alphabet and then the Japanese alphabet for different games. So Wind Waker, Japanese, Ocarina of Time, Japanese, but Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess is in English, which is really cool. And I'd like to go back and just translate some things as I play it, which would be awesome. Kakariko Village, fishing, mini games, always good. I always suck at them. I generally suck at games in general, but fishing has never been a strong point. Weapons. So different weapons and which games they were in. So the Master Sword, as you can see, most reoccurring weapon. Wasn't in everything, but it is in a few of them. They've got some enlarged versions. And again, these are found in other parts of the book as well. But, just the detail on the different items you use. Again, the Master Sword, broken down into the different games, what it looked like, the history of it, a background of it. It's got further details on other pages as it points out. Just different swords, different shields, Hylian shield. Just got that in Breath of the Wild. Super excited about it. Wish I had the mirror shield though. That would work wonders with those damn guardians. Armor. So yep, we've got the blue clothes as outlined here, but like the Zora clothing, just blue clothing in the older games. Masks, gloves, bows, bombs, bomb shoes. They're not in Breath of the Wild, are they? Hook shots, classic. Things that look like hook shots. Other weapons, just everything in general. Rupees. I mean, this is something I hadn't even considered. Just like the design of the rupee and how that's changed. Or the fact that in the first game they were originally yellow and not green. And they didn't really stabilize as green until Ocarina of Time. The different wallets. Instruments. Monsters. And again, very heavy for the Mazoku because of Twilight Princess. And then what happens to them and who's left after they're sealed in that game. Purinzoku. So now we're going to the different types of bad guys in there. So we've got the Skulta, the Octoroks, the Choo-Choos, and again, which games they were in, and the different versions and different variations. So obviously the Choo-Choos happen in later, whereas the Octoroks have been there since the very beginning. Okay, and that's the first section, the database. Now I'm just going to lightly skip over this one. Well, I kind of lightly skipped over the previous section, but it's everything. So we've got villages, towns, and it's just everything that's ever happened in the game. Brief background, what it was, pictures of it, if it's been in multiple games, how it's been in multiple games, how it's changed. Items, same thing there, just comprehensive. It's going to take me years to get through this. Unless I really practice my reading. And it's just, things you never even realize were there. Obviously I haven't 100% anything. Not having a trophy makes it hard. Different items, just going again. And it's alphabetically sorted, Japanese alphabet. So keep going on that. Lots Hatofuru, address for Link. I have not played that. Just, just the nostalgia, so things you forgot about as well, and that you're looking back and like, oh, I totally had that item, or I totally never used that item, or I totally saved that because I thought I'd use it and I didn't, which is really classic for me in RPGs. Okay, that's the end of that. And then dungeons. And again, like every dungeon, every one, that's the original Legend of Zelda. And just little 8-bit graphics, and then Link's Balkan even, which is a side-scroller, and it's just crazy, because I don't think of Link as a side-scroller. Ocarina of Time, Water Temple, just horrible, horrible childhood nightmares. Just everything we've got. And it's using the HD version for Wind Waker. Twilight Princess, again, HD version. Skyward Sword. And those are the dungeons. After that, again, every enemy, every beast. And again, just look at the little pixels. We've got Amos, which, is continuing. It's our statue sword guys. And then you have other ones that just only have a pixel in the one game. And again, just bad guy after bad guy after bad guy. And you see how much stuff reoccurs, and I mean, of course you said every game, but then you realize what stuff doesn't. And like, man, I haven't seen that in a long time. And it's good to look back. I don't know, there's so much, and I really need to spend more time with it. It's only been a day. But just the nostalgia and the levels, Skull to, hated those things. Sorry. Choo-choo, always a deliverable. But, just gonna keep flipping. And, I don't really want to lick my fingers to turn this. There, no, snagged. There we go, cool. I don't even recommend some of these. That looks like something from Mario, not from Zelda. Paz Blob. Turtles. Were there turtles? I don't remember. Oh, just so much. Again, that looks like Mario. In fact, it says there, right, Super Mario Brothers series, it's a guest character included from that, so I wasn't entirely off with that. And there's horrible hands that grab you and, again, nightmares. Cool. Different, again, that's a Shy Guy, isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm just going back. Yeah, that's another Super Mario Brothers guest character. So there were guest characters, which, I feel like I would have noticed at the time, and it's kind of just faded from memory as I've gone. So again, just so many details, and just so many little things. And it's cool that it's included, like, maybe they missed something. I don't know, but it really looks like they didn't. Like, if you wanted to remember something, it'll be in here. Cool. Alright, so we're on the third section, which is the archives. And I'm just going to stop a bit here. It's a list of every game in order of when it came out. With both the original and the highlight, and then it's just a summary. So this is the story of the original Legend of Zelda. The original art, the relationships between the characters, world map, not a world map, sorry, just pictures of the game. World maps over here. About the development of it, and how that started, what their ideas were. So this is the hand-drawn world map, which I think is really cool. And something that looks suspiciously like Tetris. And it's actually a dungeon. But it just talks about it, and talks about the development of it and the things that were really important behind it. The Legend of Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. And again, just the same thing. Relationships, the story, the world map, the development. And that goes through for each and every one of the titles. And one other thing really interesting, so I've read a few of these, is you can tell that it's not written by the same person. So each section has its own unique feel to it, which I thought was rather interesting. So you can tell the people writing it, or what level of involvement they had in it, or if they're just looking it up, and it's really quite interesting, and you get some really good insight into the games. I like the fact that it's not just the story, but it also talks about the development and the things they thought that were important in it. And again, that's different per section, and it really gives you an idea of how the games are made, which I really like. I've tried my hand at making games. I'm terrible at most things, but it's hard, And I feel like if I had this, it would have helped a bit, getting into that at first. So obviously, way more characters in the Ocarina of Time. So there's a lot more development. We've got young Link, we've got old Link. The timelines change, people change, they get older. It's really good to see that in front of you. Sketches again, Hyrule Atlas, Majora's Mask. More characters. Were there that many people? I don't remember. He was sketching. But, each game there, with its background, it's like, I'll never have to look at Wikipedia again. It's all here. And it really makes me want to go back and play it. Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Time was a really, really solid Game Boy Color game that I really enjoyed back when I was a kid. And again, coming back to Wind Waker is probably my favorite, although it is fighting with Breath of the Wild now, and I don't know which one I like better. And again, just the 49 different lookout points for the islands. Just everything's included. I love the sketch with Ganondorf fighting against Link, and then the actual artwork, which is more common, but to see the rough design for this first time with that. Four Swords. Four Swords Plus. But we just keep going. And I mean, it's just this to the end of the book. So, I don't know, there's not a huge else to say. I must say, I really love this artwork. And that's probably something I should say with the other book. But you see how it changes over time too. And just having it all comprehensively there together in such detail, it lets you really compare the growth and changes. I mean, 30 years is a long way for a game to come. I mean, 30th anniversary was last year, so technically we're moving on to the 31st. And it's Minoward marvelous. Twilight Princess will again always be an amazing game. Just the darkness of it, the severity of it, considering they'd gone with really cutesy for quite a while after the Ocarina of Time. Which again is slightly covered in here. Cool, and then we're back to the 3DS because we had a lot of smaller handheld games after Twilight Princess. I'll be honest, I didn't finish this one. I'll be honest, I didn't finish a lot of the ones after this. It was kind of just because I didn't have a DS at the time, and I didn't get my hands on one until quite a bit later. And then going back and playing, I almost feel dirty for not doing it. It's terrible. I may go back and do it. Skyward Sword was, again, another one that a lot of people didn't like, but then again, there's always the whole, nobody likes the new Zelda until the new Zelda comes out. Other than the control problems, I rather enjoyed it. I quite liked the bad guys in that one, and I liked how it gave you like a solid starting for the storyline. I'd be really looking forward to read over the game, because I only played it once compared to the other games, which I've done quite a few times. Cool. Kamigami no Triforce 2. Just the details, and we're coming up on the end here. Triforce Sanjushi. I don't actually know what that is in English, I'm sorry. That was a 2015 3DS game. I've never played it. I don't know a lot about it. I just know it's 3 links. But it looks good, and you know what? I'd be really willing to go back and finish out the entire series. I've got like 5 or 6 I haven't done. Okay, we're coming up at the end here, so stuff outside of the main series. We've got a standalone title which is just called Zelda. We've got the GameCube version of the Ocarina of Time, the Zelda Collection, BS Zelda. I don't even know what a BS is. I'm sorry, whatever it is, it's there. Link's Bowgun Training in all its glory. The Amiibos, which again have become a very important part of Breath of the Wild and getting some very unique items. But yep, the download versions, the DSiWare. Smash Brothers, yes! Oh yes! And just love how Link's been there from the beginning. And I also have our stable characters, they've basically been there from the second one. Like, that's really awesome. Like, Ganondorf, he got himself in there and he's been this mainstayer for the game, which is awesome. Soul Calibur 2, again, had Link. This I did not know about. Sonic Lost World had Link in it. Was it about Link? I really don't know. I'm interested. I can't believe I didn't know that, and I'm going to look into it. And then, of course, the Mario Kart DLC for Zelda on the bike and the level, and they swap the coins out with rupees, and it's so good. Of course, that'll all be packaged into the new Nintendo Switch Mario Kart, so definitely something to look at if you don't have already. Zelda Musou, so that's like the Dynasty Warriors. And is it Hyrule Warriors, was it? Which is an excellent game. Unfortunate port to the 3DS where the hardware wasn't strong enough to run it. If you have a new 3DS, you're fine, but it wasn't limited for new 3DS, and they didn't tell people that. And so, it had some problems. And just very strange Tingle spin-offs. Cool. And then just every different game that Link's ever come out in, or has any reference to. And so I've got Dorbutsu no Mori, so that's Animal Crossing, Super Donkey Kong 2, Kirby, Phantasy Star Zero. There's different games where, there's been cameos in Super Mario Maker. It's just really, interesting how much of an important title it is for the series. This is magazines and flyers that have come out for advertising. So, some, obviously not so nostalgia in the Japanese ones, because I wasn't a child in Japan. But, a lot of these were reused back home. Link's Bowgun Training. Did anyone actually play? Was it good? Was it? I don't know. It seems, I won't say anymore. And then we'll just keep going. And there we go. I've got A.G. Aonuma and the history of the game, questions and answering. They talk a bit about Breath of the Wild, but as I said, it's not really included in this book. enjoy. Thank you, AG. And that is it. Beautiful book. Beautiful book. I'm looking very much excited to the third book, which comes out sometime this year. It doesn't specify a date when, but it is coming and it should be awesome. I hope that gave you an idea of what was inside the book. If you want to get your hands on it, it's on Amazon in Japan. It should be fine for shipping. But it is beautiful and it is worth it. Please check it out. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.